Alright, welcome back everyone, it's your Code King Zaf here. Let's jump in and do an updated Battlefield time guide for the cursed giant EIBERG. And honestly speaking, this mode is truly cursed just because this boss is so poorly designed. I can't believe that I've wrote this off as an actual boss we have to face against, because using our light and water teams, honestly speaking, is just a horrible experience. Drop a like if you agree, but we're gonna jump in. We're using a light team just because when it comes to our water team, it is so much harder to pull off. I do my guides based on what's easiest, and the light team is the way to go, unless you're in a tryout server, and I feel bad for you, because using a water team is just not it. Using Soren, using Alicia, and using Malin or Min is just not the way to go in my opinion, so we're using a light team, and I'll cover the battle itself, that way you know exactly what to do, of course. But very quick, if you want a bunch of free codes giving you a ton of rewards, go to the link down below and support us. It is 100% free. You press that, press yes, press that, and you're done. Very simple. Then you're sporting. Then you just wait. All the codes send right here to my page section. You press that, you scroll down, boom, all the codes right here for thousands of essence zones and more. We have 5 codes right now, with more coming out, so just support, don't think, and you will get all these benefits here. But I do want to remind you, if we reach the 40,000 supporter mark, I'll do 4 $100 giveaways, in addition to the $350 we have right now on our Discord server, so make sure you join that way you don't miss out, of course. And a huge shout out to Lyron for your first comment to your last video. Here's your shout out, and enjoy that juicy Discord roll, of course. And I do want to give a huge shout out to Lidstream for this build. Honestly, he has such good builds out there, so make sure to check him out. But let's jump in. Let's cover the build when it comes to our light team. Very simple. We're running Min, Go, and Chom. I do want to remind you, very important, if your Min is at the 85 mark, to make sure that your Chaw has the highest power amount. Otherwise, this right here, this passive, will not apply, giving your team member with the highest power a 50% ultimate damage increase. Very important, so keep note, your Chaw does have the highest power in, and when it comes to your other units, you have options. When it comes to your artifacts, when it comes to Goga and He, you can run an 8-piece of Greed if you want more crit and crit damage coming in. That's up to you. I do prefer running 4 and the Aquamarine set, just because we get more attack coming in the form of a 28% attack bonus, which does help out a ton. When it comes to Min, make sure you run this set on him, just because based on our Hunter rotation, you cannot run Shining Star on Go just because the effects are different. This one is when the user or team member tags in, but this one right here, when it comes to Aquamarine, this is when the user tags out, so do take note, they are different buffs and passives that do apply differently. But when it comes to your armor piece, it's very simple. Run the Noble Sacrifice set. You might say, well, Zaf, isn't the Chaotic Wish set better when it comes to attack bonus it gives? Yes, but you have to make sure you consider how this applies. You have to use your sports skill or ultimate skill to get a 2% bonus attack increase, which is fine, but it's not really the best, just because the duration is 10 seconds, so we can't always have it applied, which is not ideal. So the Noble Sacrifice set works fine. We do lose 2%, but the buff is always being applied. Your Go does get a bit less damage based on the defense we don't get, but it's fine. Like I said before, it is perfectly fine. Ooh, how many times I said we're fine there? But when it comes to our shadows, very simple. You have 2 options. You can either run Beer or Igris, it's up to you. When it comes to Igris, it's a bit more consistent based on the crit rate you get. He is a better shadow in that sense, where you don't have to reset constantly. We do get more attack and crit damage, which boosts our damage, allowing us to deal more damage for ultimate when it comes to Chaw, so I do prefer Biru, but give either or a try. They're honestly both great shadows, and when it comes to our supporter shadows, we run Iron and Bestie just because we want this right here, the defense penetration increase, and also the defense reduction here, making sure we deal a lot more damage, just because when it comes to our light team, we lack defense penetration, which is a huge must. In the battlefield time, we do need it, so these 2 shadows provide us plenty of defense penetration, which is a must. And when it comes to our core, it's very simple, just copy these. I would say only these 2 matter here, this one here, the other ones don't matter too much. On Min doesn't matter too, so just copy those cores, and that's it for the build. Let me jump in and I'll show you exactly what to do to get a solid time like the one you see here, of course. Now, as we jump in, I do want to mention one thing very quick. When it comes to our main damage source, it's not our hunters or artifacts, it's this buff right here. You'll see it. It'll give us a pop-up. In just a few seconds, you'll see something called the Fighting Spirit. Basically, the longer we take in the battle, the more of a buff the game mode gives us. Watch very carefully. I think in about a few seconds, at the 20-ish second mark, we should get that buff applied. And there we go, the Fighting Spirit. That's the buff we want, giving us a ton of bonus stats, which we need, so we do have to time our run based on the buff there to ensure Chaw's ultimate gives us a chance to one-shot the boss, you'll see. So let me jump in, that we know exactly what we do, of course. Alright, so let's jump in with the battle guide at half speed just because I want to make sure I give you commentary of the battle. If you want to see the full speed regular run, that'll be at the end of the video, of course. So the second we spawn out of Min, you want to dash forward twice and use your second basic skill. You can use the first skill if you want for more of a power gauge bonus, but that is optional, of course. You don't need it. So I use that because it's very easy. Then I dash forward 2 times. Then I use our second basic skill. Watch, I use that. Then I manually swap into Gogenhi. Then I dash forward once. Then I do a little loop just to make sure all the mobs aggro on us and they walk back towards us. Very important. You want to make sure all these mobs here pull towards us in the middle. So watch that. I walk backwards, they come forward. Then you want to walk back here, and with this skill right here, it's very useful just because it freezes all the mobs and it applies a debuff to the target. Super important. Watch, a freeze these mobs here, this one here, and this one right here to the corner. Sometimes they come towards us, but sometimes they walk backwards. It's okay. In phase 1 and phase 2, the run times don't really matter. So watch this. We come forward. We use Gogenhi's second basic skill to get all the mobs in our AoE. I use that. Then I use our Q or core attack. It's up to you. I use our Q here, then our core attack to make sure Chaw comes in for QT. Boom. I use that. Then what you want to do here with Chaw is use your dancer skill to go through all the mobs here. So good. Watch that. Boom. All the mobs here getting hit. If they don't all die, do not worry. You can just use your basic attacks. It doesn't matter. So I use that right over here. Boom, 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 basic attack. Then you want to wait for the next phase here and use your second basic skill right around, I guess, 2 seconds after I use that. I use that right here. It auto aims on the target. Then I use our QT into Min to make sure the target does get hit, of course. Getting our power gauge up. Beautiful. Then I use our E here. More damage coming in. Then I swap into Gogenhi for core attack using our QT. Just get some more damage coming in. Not a must. You can just manually swap. So I use our full combo here. Using your Q, using your core attack, using your E, your core attack, then your Q. Very simple here. All those skills come into play. You also want to make sure your greed buff gets applied. Very important. I think I missed it here, which is okay. Our Chaw does plenty of damage, and boom, Chaw comes in, getting all that damage applied using your QT, but also her dancer skill. You do not have to worry about your mana. You should regen it up before the next boss phase, but if you don't, be very careful. When it comes to the boss, you do not want to use your ultimate if your mana is not above the 4% mark for the obsidian set effect. Very important. Then what you want to do is swap into Gogenhi, so your mana is regenning right now. Then on this phase, honestly, all you have to do is break with Go. It does take a bit longer just because Go isn't the best breaker anymore, I know. Our chairman does have to retire, but watch this. We dash in, use Extreme Evasion, then use our Q, our first basic skill, then our core attack, then our E to reset our Q, then we use our Q again, then our core attack. Very simple right here to make sure we get the most break being applied. Then use your ultimate skill to make sure we get even more break coming in. Almighty break, super juicy, boom. Then the boss will not be broken. He's gonna dash back sometimes, so annoying. It's just what the run is all about. The cursed EIBERG is cursed. Now what you want to do is break here. Doesn't matter how long you take. As long as you break before the 1 10-second mark and you swap into Min, you're okay. So watch this. We walk forward. We break the target here. But before you break, what you want to do is use your shadows and swap into Min and use his E to make sure the punishment buff is applied. Watch very carefully. Use that. I break. Our shadows come out. Before we break here and I swap into Min, just as we break to save in time, use our E, then our ultimate skill to ensure we save on the animation time. Super important. Then we swap into Chaw manually, use our Q. Now you want to be very, very, very careful here of 2 things, your mana, but also you want to make sure the boss does not hit the 70% mark when it comes to HP, just because if they're under the 70% HP mark, the totems come out and you're gonna suffer. The run is ruined, so be very careful. What you want to do here is wait for the next attack phase and then use your second basic skill, not your ultimate, your second basic skill to ensure you get more damage coming on the boss. Watch very carefully. I see, boom, the animation changed, and then I use a skill right over here. Watch, that comes in, and you want to spam your ultimate after, the boss HE bar goes down to 55% beautiful. We should one-shot right here, but I'm sure we're not going to get lucky. Watch very carefully, and so close. Oh, a 30 million HP hit on the boss, but we're just short on the HE bar. What you want to do next is, of course, panic swap into Goenhi and spam your skills, and we should be good to go, and done. Beautiful. A very, I would say, simple enough run. You don't have to time things right, but overall, with the Fighting Spirit buff, you should be good to go. Now, here is the full speed run, just so you can see what happens, and then, if you enjoyed, of course, drop your like, make sure to subscribe as well, but don't forget to support us if you want a bunch of free codes sent directly to you. So here is a full speed run. Hope you enjoyed. This is your Code King Zaf, signing out.